There's like two things I'm afraid of, and it's a hernia and getting a kidney stone.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just those two things. I work out a lot, and
Yeah.
like I've taken creatine. People will be like, "Oh, creatine, kidney stones, watch out!" Like da 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 da. Or the same thing with like lifting heavy. People will be like, "Oh, you gotta be careful. You could pop a hernia." And so like
Yeah.
I'll have like a tight hip flexor, and I'm like, is it happening? Like my biggest fear.
Sure.
So like,
yeah.
what is it when you see the kidney
So
stone?
kidney stones are the stereotype is it's worse than childbirth is what I've heard.
Yeah.
In childbirth, you get a baby at the end of it, and
yeah.
a kidney stone, you pass the stone. So it is pretty impressive. The pain. I haven't had one ever. People in my family have had them, and having seen plenty of them, is that sometimes the pain is you have to admit people to the hospital to control their pain, and then take them to surgery to get the stone out. God. Which is
it scares me.
So drink your fluid.
I drink. I mean, I get a gallon to a gallon and a half of water.
That's
day,
perfect.
So I should be okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So usually we like to say in our stone formers, just in general, like a general recommendation is 2 to 3 liters of urine per day. So it's about 64 to 96 ounces of urine per day, which is a lot of urine. You have to balance that with running to the bathroom all the time.
Yeah, I do pee a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do pee a lot.
So, I mean, if you don't have any medical condition that prevents you from drinking fluid, that's probably your number one weapon against stone formation.
What's like the most common reason that you've seen where people will maybe develop a kidney stone, or is there not? It's random.
Dehydration. Yeah,
dehydration.
People just don't drink enough, and people like to say, "Oh, I drink so much," and then when it comes down to it, they're just really not. Like, it seems like you're drinking a lot, and
I know people that I don't think most people drink water at all.
Yeah, I've had people say I don't like water.
Dude. My roommates in college,
they not like water.
They only drink soda. They drank exclusively Coke from McDonald's. And that was it.
Oh yes.
And I was like, guys, you gotta drink slip a water in every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like, well, there's water in the Coke.
Yeah. So that's interesting because some people say any liquid's good liquid. And I would always joke where it's like, because I was practicing in New Mexico before this, so I would say, you tell people 2 to 3 liters of fluid a day, and I would say I trained in Wisconsin, so they would say, well, 2 to 3 liters of beer a day sounds great to me, or something like that, and and you're like, no, you should kind of slip some water in there, man. But it's basically, they're very common. 1 in 10, 1 in 11 people have them. Yeah. And usually it's just invariably people just don't drink enough. I mean, we see it a lot in people working outside and like young people. So young people who get them, there can be family history. Some people have had them since they're kids.
Why does a stone go in? Why does it form? You're dehydrated and just rocks.
So it's like rock
spawning?
candy. Yeah. So basically your urine is super saturated with certain kind of mineral elements, and it's just, if you think of like a nice flowing river, you're going to dilute everything out. Whereas if it's just stagnant, tiny amount of urine, these crystals can precipitate or form in the urine there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound awful.
It's pretty, and some people just have it really, some people, so there are congenital things that lead to stone formation. Family history is a big one, but a lot of the times they're spontaneous, and it's just people don't drink enough. Sounds like if you're drinking at least a gallon a day.
I should be okay for a little bit. Yeah,
so,
that's good.
I
get scared, man.
It's a good weapon to ward it off for sure.
Yeah. Wow. Is it something when people get one, is it like immediate? Like, I'm sure like it forms over time. But when it forms, is it like, immediately, like I have a kidney stone?
Not necessarily. So it's got to block something usually. Usually to make. So it forms in the part of the kidney called the collecting system. So the kidney's got 2 parts, kind of the meat of the kidney, so to speak, that makes the urine, and then the part that actually drains the urine through the urine tube, the ureter to the bladder. Yeah. So if it is stuck in the part of where it exits the kidney or that urine tube, that's where people will get that pain of it's actually, a lot of people think it's the stone scraping against the anatomy or the tube, but it's actually that stretch sensation that is extraordinarily painful because the kidney's blocked.
So does it hurts like where your kidney is then when you get one? It's not like a...
It can depend. Everyone's a little bit different. Okay. So generally people with a kidney stone that's higher up, you'll feel it kind of under your rib cage on one side or the other. For men, as it goes down, or women, you'll often feel radiating into the groin, the testicle, that kind of thing, as well as it's getting into the bladder.
Yeah. Damn. That's great. So you've seen a lot of these.
This is
most of
it's I mean, this is like bread and butter for any or stones, because people are just.
What's the biggest one that you've seen?
So they can range from, it's interesting. This is a case where size doesn't really matter. I've seen like 2 and 3 millimeter stones. So like kind of just really, really tiny, like almost a grain of sand period at the end of a sentence, like a typewritten period. Really, really cause terrible, terrible issues and pain. But some people will have like inches of stone in their kidneys, which is actually something called a staghorn calculus, because the way the shape is that it looks like an antlers horn, or it looks like antlers of a deer. Yeah.
I might. Does anybody just decide to opt to just die? Does anybody just go like, "Hey, man, I'm not pissing an antler out of this"?
It's an interesting decision, because there are times when you can die. So infected stones, like stones plus a urinary tract infection, is an emergency. Some people have only 1 kidney. That's an emergency where it's blocked. We like to take care of people who are, obviously, if you're a pilot or a bus driver, you don't want a pilot or a bus driver getting a kidney stone in the middle. So, but where you can have that is where, because the surgery is to remove stones that are so big, like the staghorn stones, usually it ends up you have to make a hole through someone's back and get the stone out with almost like a jackhammer, like a pneumatic and ultrasonic jackhammer from the back of the kidney. And that can be a pretty brutal surgery. So I have seen patients who are end of life, and this is a reason to, they sometimes have tubes in their back or tubes in their kidneys to drain them out. But yes, sometimes people just can't go through that surgery. Yeah, I mean, that's a big. So kidney stones are a big, big problem, and they can. I mean, most of the cases, though, are people who are like, "Oh, I passed a stone. I had one 10 years ago. I know what it's like." But they can be very, very, very debilitating or life-threatening for some people.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
Thanks for watching that last video, guys. Click right over here to see the episode in its entirety, or click over here to subscribe and check out all the other cool shit we have on the channel. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Do it.